All right, everybody, welcome to this video. Thank you very much for clicking. And first of all, I just wanted to give some feedback on the specializations, the different specializations, and some of the changes that have been made. Now, if you look through the specializations, you're going to find out that the way it's been done, I think the developers have probably tried their best to kind of provide some balance, but I wanted to give a few ideas, and I don't know if these ideas are going to be taken or if they're even going to be heard, but I'm going to put them out there anyways. Now, the first thing I wanted to highlight is if you're running all these specializations now based on the PTS, you're able to get an extra weapon damage on all the weapon classes. But in the case of the Sharpshooter, you're able to get up to 25% increased headshot damage with rifles and marksman rifles only. Now, this has kind of dropped the Sharpshooter specialization down a notch when it comes to, the biggest damage tiers. And so people will probably only need to run if you run the marksman rifle, or if you run a rifle with this build, you're going to be happy because with your rifle, you're going to get the extra 15% increased rifle damage and then get some extra headshot damage. Now, also, even the digital scope that you're getting, if you look very closely here on the PTS, that digital scope is now giving 45% headshot damage. I think in the base game right now, it's about 30% or something. Maybe it's 45, but I don't remember it being this high. So this specialization is rewarding you and giving you an incentive to run this specialization with the weapons that they actually come with. Now, let's see if it can even work on another weapon type. Let's see if this thing is going to work here. Okay, yeah, I can use it here. But it doesn't, I don't think it really makes any sense for me running this with an assault rifle. Unless I want to look through a scope and try to get some headshots with an AR, it probably will work for an military AK-47 slow firing, but I don't think that's necessarily the best use of that. You're better off using a marksman rifle to enjoy that 45% headshot damage. Now, what if in the case of the other specializations, there was an extra added incentive for you to run a specific weapon class, including the 15% base damage that you're already getting for all weapons? Now, you want to run Survivalist, and you have some reasons why. The reasons may not just be all weapon damage that you can get from everywhere. It could be because of some of the healing attributes that you have in Survivalist. It could be some of the things in the tactical link that you have. So I feel like there needs to be an incentive and a weapon class that is still associated with each specialization to continue to maintain their identity. Now, the challenge will be when you have other specializations, but when we get to that bridge, I think we'll be willing to cross it. But for now, we can still add, and I think the developers are capable of doing this, for like the assault rifles, adding an extra bonus to run the assault rifle and the shotgun. Now, what bonus would that be? Because already you're getting 15% extra base damage on your weapon. Well, that incentive could be health damage. It could be you're getting an extra 5, 10, 15% health damage on your assault rifle if you're running the specialization for the Survivalist and if you're running an assault rifle. In the case of the shotgun, or they could just leave the shotgun out of it and just make it for one weapon. That way there's room for another specialization down the road to be able to work with the shotgun. You feel me? And so that's exactly what I'm going at. Now, in the case of the Demolitionist, what they can do here is they, Demolitionist already has an extra percentage damage to targets out of cover for your entire group. So why not have that same perk given to you, the individual, if and only if you run an LMG? Also, they could remove this big old belt that's here, this pouch that's here that gives you an extra 50 rounds, and put it with the Demolitionist, because right now that pouch is already out there. That same kind of pouch, I think the extra pouch mod is out there, and it's given a lot of players a lot more ammo, and so mostly they can still enjoy their Demolitionist if they have that pouch, or they come to the gunner and get the pouch. So it kind of makes almost no sense to put that pouch here in the gunner specialization. And so I think that needs to come to the Demolitionist, and then the incentive to run the Demolitionist specialization and an LMG is probably getting that pouch that only works for the big belt-fed weapons. That could be an incentive, because an increase in the amount of bullets you have is an increase in your DPS. So they probably don't even need to add that extra damage to targets out of cover. I don't think that's even necessary if they move that pouch to the specialization. Now, if they move this pouch to the specialization, then what do you have for the gunner? I'm glad you asked. You're going to get the same all weapon damage if you decide to run the specialization for the specialization weapon or whatever perks you're getting. But now you're able to now do something really unique. Developers, this one's for you. I know you guys want this Banshee thing. This is probably your vision. But to be very honest, if you really want to step this thing up a notch, you want to blow everybody out of the water and you want to bring people back to this game, this is probably not the appropriate skill to use. And I believe so because here you already have your sidearm. This sidearm can now become a much stronger weapon under the gunner specialization, and this so-called pulse-based Banshee skill can become the shield. It's already there. Everything that's needed for this to work out, for this to be a fun, skill-based build, is already there for the whole game. It's like you guys already had it in place before you put this gunner. I don't know what came before what, but man, if you look very closely, why I'm saying this is because we already have a brand set that is already going to augment pistol damage and shield skill power in the same brand set. You will literally take the Richter and Kaiser brand set and make it not just the regular brand set, but bring it to a premium level item that everybody wants to have if they're running that specialization. It is crazy. Now, numbers may need to be crunched. They may need to be calculated in order to make this a reality, but I think this is exactly where it needs to be. Every other specialization has the brand sets that work with them. If you look very closely, and a lot of people may not necessarily be paying attention to this, but when I first started building with Survivalist, one of the reasons I enjoyed Survivalist is because Survivalist has a lot of fun stuff like protection from elites. 5% protection, 15% protection from elites. And then when you come to your brand sets, you had the Fenris. The Fenris already kind of walked hand in hand, giving you the 10% extra assault rifle damage, which was exclusive to the Survivalist specialization, and then the protection from elites. I mean, that was crazy. And the Survivalist even has, the Fenris even has like this weird, I don't know if this is a fox or whatever animal. It almost kind of like just, they made it there to go with that specialization. So you can spec more and gain more. And I think that is exactly what they probably need to do. Giving the weapon damage bonuses to all the, all the classes and whatever is a good idea. But I genuinely and desperately think that there still has to be an added incentive to run a weapon class. That might mean removing all this extra added damage bonus. Don't hate me, but that might make the math less of a challenge to crunch. Or they may take up the challenge. The developers could take up the challenge and start working with that. So this gunner necessarily and fundamentally, I think, does not need to have this Banshee. I know everyone's reported as that. That's the developer's vision. That's a prerogative if they decide to change it. It might be too difficult to change. It might push the update back, but it is definitely going to be worth making this tweak and making this change. All right, that's all I have. Now, I want to hear what you guys think in the comment section about this proposal to change and tweak this gunner build a little bit and the other specializations. My proposal may not be necessarily detailed as much, but I want to hear what you guys think in the comment section below. If you want, you can share this video all over the webs, have people kind of think and, comment on it, and we'll see exactly where this goes, because enjoy the game, I enjoy the game, and I want to see the game do well, and I want the content that drops to not only just be content, but be fun content for a lot of people to play. At this point, I know everything wants to be balanced, but there needs to be a fun aspect of the game. All right, I'll get out of y'all's hair. Thank you very much for listening and watching, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Peace.